Alright folks, we're going to do something a little different today. This isn't really one of the countdown days. This is just something special, just a video I wanted to do. So we're gonna revisit our trip to Colorado that me and Christine took a year ago. We were there a year ago this time of year. Actually, we'd already been there kind of towards the end of July into the first week of August, and we spent 2 weeks there. The reason I want to revisit this, it was really kind of a pivotal point in our lives that kind of paved the way for the last year and everything that's happened, and we ended up where we are right now here in the Philippines. Alright folks, so here we go. Alright, this was Silverton, Colorado in 2020. You can see the old truck there with the hood up on the side of the road there in New Mexico. And folks, there's my coolant cap that was missing on the dadgum thing. Yeah, that was kind of a long story on that deal. I'd loaned my truck to some folks, and anyway, the coolant cap ended up done and we had some overheating issues, but we got that taken care of. And now you can see on the video we arrived in Silverton, Colorado. We pulled that fifth wheel loaded down with the Razor and everything else all the way up there to Eureka Campground. And Eureka Campground is actually an old ghost town, and that they've made into a campgrounds now. And this is some of my drone footage here. You can see a little wobble and a little shake in the gimbal. Well, this is because I crashed the drone a while back, and I actually sent it back to Autel. And when I got it back, anytime I'm flying this drone in any kind of wind, and it was windy almost the whole time we were there, that gimbal shakes like this. And I actually cut some of the worst parts out of the video. But that's why I ended up going ahead and getting me another video. I still like my Autel for some of the slower things that we do. Video like this, kind of scenic, and I can make it work. But it was time to kind of go ahead and get me another Autel, and I went with the FPV, or get another drone, and I went with the FPV from DJI. Folks, so this is us leaving camp in the Razor. You can see the front of the Razor there, the roll part of the roll cage, and I am wearing the ABF shirt from where I bought the roll cage. I can't recommend that company enough. They were great to work with. They're out of Fort Worth, Texas, down there. ABF is the name of it. And so, folks, we head out of Eureka Campgrounds, and we start heading up the road here to Animas Forks, and you can see they had a lot of snow through the winter, a lot more snow than I've ever seen since I've been coming up to this neck of the woods. This was Christine's first trip up to Colorado. I've been up here several times, mainly driving Jeeps. This is my first time in the Razor. And you can still see there's a lot of snow still laying around, or at least there's more now than there was. And this is the end of July right here. And I've never seen the Animas River like that, with the snow crossing it like it is. So we run up the road here to Animas Forks, and we go see Animas Forks. We get out there. Guys, the reason some of the sound is knocked out of this video, when I originally did this, I had no intentions on monetizing my channel. The whole reason, I just was doing this YouTube stuff to do YouTube stuff, and really had no intent on monetizing it. So I really didn't care about the music. So most of the music in this video, I ended up getting copyright struck on. And so whenever I went to monetize my channel, I had to just go ahead and set this video to private, and that helped me on the YouTube stuff. Well, whenever I went to record this video off of YouTube, and I just did it on my laptop and everything, and just did a video recording of it, I didn't get any of the audio for whatever reason. So if you guys know the settings that might be able to help me out, just put them down in the description or a comment or whatever, or down in the comments, and help me out on this deal. I'm not the most tech savvy person, but really the biggest part of this video is just going to be y'all looking at the scenery. It was a very beautiful trip. You can see whenever I edited this video, fast forward a lot of the razor riding up this, and this is on the way to Engineer Pass. We've already gone through Animas Forks, and we're going up the trail, up the pass road to Engineer Pass. And this was a first for me also. We start seeing sheep all over the place. Well, these sheep they belong to somebody. They're free range sheep. You know, somebody's got them out there, and they're allowed to do this on it's all Bureau land. It's all you know, public land, but I guess I don't know if these ranchers have to have some sort of a lease, or they pay a lease, or I don't know what the deal is on it. But anyway, these are somebody's sheep. They're just free ranging up there. And these guys are way up high. We're probably at about 11,000 feet right now. We're getting close to the top of Engineer Pass. And these sheep are everywhere, and it was pretty cool. Christine really got a kick out of it. She got out and started doing a lot of filming and taking pictures and everything else, and it was fun. It was a new experience for me too, so I enjoyed it. But folks, so we talked about in the beginning the truck. We had some truck problems on the way. This put me a day behind on my schedule of getting there. We were stuck in Santa Rosa, New Mexico, around that area for an extra day, because we had to get a new cap for the truck. We had to get everything running at least halfway decent so we could pull up the mountains. But from that point on, the entire way up to Silverton, the truck was running hot. It wasn't running over hot, it was just running hotter than normal, and it just kept my guts churned up and scared the entire time. I was afraid something else was going to break down on the truck. And really, the truck worked like a champ. I mean, I can't really complain, but it's just one of those deals where it's constantly on your mind. It's absolutely constantly on your mind. And so, yeah, whenever you're constantly worrying the entire trip about something going wrong, it kind of sucks the fun out of it for you, you know. And that's kind of where I was at this point. I was like, man, you know, is this truck going to get us home and all that? Well, then we head up Engineer Pass. We see the sheep, and it was a beautiful morning this morning. You know, when we started out, everything was going good. The Razor, I mean, just sounded wonderful. I had my new exhaust system on there, and it sounded really good, and it was loud, but it sounded sexy, y'all. And anyway, we're just heading up the mountains and having a really good time, just enjoying looking at the sheep and all that kind of stuff. And there's Christine taking pictures of the sheep. That was kind of one of her favorite things to get done there. So anyway, y'all, I mean, that's just kind of part of it. Beautiful scenery. So we get done looking at the sheep, and we head on up to Engineer Pass. And I'll just kind of go ahead and fast forward the story. I'm going to get a little ahead of the video right now. But we get up Engineer Pass, we head on back down, and we stop at this waterfall, which you guys will see here in a minute. And then we go up this trail, and I didn't get any video of this trail for whatever reason. There's Engineer Pass, 12,800 feet. So that's the elevation we're at. You can see the old razor there. So we stop at this waterfall. We have a good time looking at it. It was a beautiful, beautiful area. And then we go up this trail, and this trail goes to the, and I forget the name of it, but it goes to the trailhead of Mount Uncompahgre. I wanted to go check this out because I was seriously thinking about hiking Mount Uncompahgre, and that being a 14er that we did. After Mount Handy's, that trip, I was done hiking 14ers. I mean, it wore me out. And there's Christine jumping, and me and her both jumping in the snow. Like I said, I hadn't seen that much snow there. And there's the waterfall that we saw. Beautiful area. We walked down there and then walked back up at huffing and puffing. Folks, I mean, you're at that elevation and the oxygen absolutely sucks. Okay, and then we jump fast forward to Cinnamon Pass. Well, Cinnamon Pass was our way up, and we almost did not get up Cinnamon Pass. We had to have the Okies let us ride in their pack because I started having problems with the razor. And this is me just sitting there talking about the issues I had with the razor. So basically, I lost the fuel pump in the razor. Spent the entire next day trying to round up another fuel pump. But folks, kind of the gist of this whole deal is this was the beginning of me realizing, you know what, things suck. Having these things, yeah, they're nice when they're working. And it was after this trip, here I am putting in the new fuel pump. And you can see our canopy that we had there in the Twin Fountains RV Resort, all lit up, looking good. But yeah, I put this in, and it's a good thing, folks. You know, I'm a redneck because I can fix most things. This was a 15-minute fix once I rounded up the part. But folks, this trip here made me and Christine realize, because we had some more problems. I ended up having to replace both batteries in the truck. It's a diesel truck, so you know, I had to put new batteries in it. That cost me another $450. It was just one thing after another on this trip. And it made us realize, you know what, having these things is cool when they're working, but when they're not working, it's stressful. And we were just worried about getting home. There was a point when the fuel pump went out on this thing that we were worried about getting back over the mountain pass to get to Callie. She was locked up in the trailer.
And it was cold.
And it was cold, yeah. And so anyway, yeah, you can't have your Filipina out in the cold very long. They just don't make it.
You're gonna die.
I know. And so anyway, y'all, after this trip, you know, it took me a while to kind of unwind and start kind of getting a lot of my anxiety done. But one good thing about this trip is I quit dipping snuff. I actually put down the Copenhagen on this trip, and it has been exactly 1 year pretty much today that I have taken my last pinch of snuff. And so there's some good parts of this trip, some good things that happened. And then shortly after we got back, we realized, I started running into a lot of stresses at work. With all the stuff going on with law enforcement and everything and work, man, it started wearing on me. And after this trip, the issues at work and all that kind of stuff, the stress at work, that's when we decided to pull the trigger for me to go ahead and retire, and for us to start selling things off. So all these things you see on here, the razor, the camper, the house, all that kind of stuff, everything that we've had, we've sold. They're gone. We're living out of 2 suitcases right now. Now, we do have a lot bought already in Lanuza in the Philippines. And Christine bought a little house, actually. So we've got that if we need it. But the bottom line is, folks, it was time for us. And this was our wake-up call. And it was kind of the deal where it was our sign of God showing us this is, you know, He's got bigger plans for us. He's got plans for us here in the Philippines. it's time to sell out. It's time to go. It's time to go ahead and hang up a career in law enforcement and start something different. And so here I am bringing you guys videos and stuff, and I hope I can keep y'all watching them. But you know, that's just kind of where all this started, and that's why I wanted to kind of do this video and rehash it, and show y'all where we came from on this. This was a pivotal point in our decision-making process, and this happened almost exactly a year ago. And so anyway, that's the deal. A lot of you guys are new to my channel. You haven't heard this story. Go back and watch some of my videos, and you'll understand kind of where we're coming from. All right, folks, thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.